This one. I read this one like when it first came out. So it's a year old.
Mm-hmm.
And I read this one when it first came out and I remembered it. And so I went to find it for this episode. There's an update. So I haven't read the update, but I remember this story. And when I read this story, I was so mad. Oh, so here we go. Am I the asshole for being angry at my husband for spending my tummy tuck money? My husband, 37, and I, 35, have been together for just over 11 years. We have 3 beautiful children. Before we were engaged, we talked about having babies. I said I always wanted to be a mom, but I will be getting the mommy makeover package after I'm done. This is a tummy tuck and possible breast lift. I was very clear that I would want us to start saving as soon as I was pregnant with the first baby. First pregnancy hits, and it hit hard. And true to our promise, we start saving. After my first child was born, we found out my abdominal muscles had separated and needed to be repaired surgically. This is essentially a tummy tuck. Since giving birth to my first, I've experienced horrible back pain and back spasms due to the separation. But we wait and had 2 more babies. My youngest is now almost 1 year old, and I brought up the surgery to my husband. He asked me if I was sure I wanted the surgery. LOL, yes, I am very sure. He asked me why I want it, which I found insane since I have been talking about it for 8 years straight.
Yeah.
I told him 1, I look pregnant all of the time due to the separation and I hate it. It makes me feel awful and sad. And 2, the pain was getting unbearable, even with therapy. Well, he tells me I'm being very vain and that he doesn't think I should have it. He completely ignored the pain part. I start to get confused and ask to see the account where it's being saved. Or like in parentheses, to clarify, we are both on this account, but it was never linked to my online banking. I saw the balance last month at $15,000. He became silent and left the house. I was very, very confused, so I called up the bank. They told me the account had under $1,000 left. I burst into hysterical tears and called my husband. He answers and didn't say anything. I unload on him about being betrayed by the person I trust the most in the world and ask where the hell the money went. He said he was under a lot of stress with the kids. Parentheses, I am a stay-at-home mom and do everything. So he wanted to treat himself and bought a computer for his office. I told him
For $15,000.
Yeah. I told him not to come home, and he hasn't yet. The thing is, he is an excellent dad and husband, and this is very out of the blue. It has made me so upset that I texted him and wanted a divorce, since I seem to not matter. He texted me back saying no divorce, but it was his money anyways. This has damaged us to a level I never thought we could get to. My mother-in-law called me and told me to kick him out, but my own family, especially my mother, is saying she's very disappointed in me and thinks I am vain and shallow.
What?
I just want to look normal and play with my kids with no pain. Am I the asshole?
Fuck no.
Fuck your mom. Fuck your husband.
Literally, fuck your mom. I can't believe her mom did that. And the mother-in-law came in like clutch, though. Hell yeah.
Love a good mother-in-law.
Hell yeah.
Love a supportive mother-in-law that doesn't like baby her son just because it's her son. Like, oh, this is the dream.
A reasonable human. Oh, dreams.
Dreams. Fuck. Like,
yeah.
I would think I would be in the same boat as her. I would be like, a divorce. You don't respect me. I'm in pain constantly. I can't imagine what it's like living with separated abdominal muscles completely. Can you imagine having a rift? And after 3 babies, your skin is stretched out. You're just.
So I'm really confused though. $15,000 computer. What, like, where did it go? We don't know.
There's some updates on this first one. I don't remember what they say. So let's get into it.
Like what? A computer like attached to like a
Well, some of those gaming computers. Well, some of the gaming computers are a shit ton of money, but like $15,000, like that is like one of the computers that has like literally like the built-in seat, and you're like in a cave. That's insane.
I honestly think that I would want to be done, which is way easier said than done because they have 3 kids, one's 1 year old. But like that is so painful.
I think what's really
like what she said, that is a betrayal.
It is a betrayal.
Not just because of the pure fact of him spending money that they agreed on, but because he knew that that was so a part of what she wanted for 8 years straight, that she told him that before they were even married.
Yes.
Like when they were in their engagement stage.
Yeah.
So it's like if he didn't want that, like he could have been like, okay, I'm gonna opt out. She let him know beforehand. She didn't like trick him and throw this on him.
This is something that I definitely want. Like I want a breast reduction lift now as it is. So this is something like if you can specify plastic surgery in your prenup, like this would be in my fucking prenup. Like I want to be able to spend joint money on a surgery if we have children. Like this is prenup worthy for me. Like she's talked about it consistently since prior to having kids.
And especially because it's a medical issue.
It's a medical issue that's causing pain.
Yeah, it's not just cosmetic anymore.
Her quality of life is decreased. She cannot parent the way she wants to parent and play with her children. Everything in her life, every occupation, every activity is affected. What is the quality of life with that?
So frustrating.
Like as an OT, we look at occupations, which some people are like, oh, I don't need an OT. I have a job. Haha. But like, no, it's like activities that you do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Every single occupation is impacted. Sleep, sex, play, I'm sure cooking, everything, all of her day-to-day. Her back hurts constantly. Fuck this dude. Mm-hmm. Oh, the comment I was going to point out though that really...
I forgot to use this.
Yeah, big red flags. Big red flags. The comment that gives me like the biggest, like, fuck this dude. He texted me back saying, no divorce, but it was his money anyways. So he doesn't even look at the money as being hers. Like, even though she's sacrificed working and is a stay-at-home mom, saving them thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, he doesn't look at it like it's her money too. It's his money.
Makes me so mad.
Disgusting. Mm-hmm. So, edit to add, he said he thought I didn't want it anymore since I haven't talked about it in a few months.
Okay.
And he thought I'd never realize.
What?
And he has seen me struggle with the pain for years and has taken me to every therapy appointment. Also,
then that's even more reason.
Yeah. Well, and like physical therapy for like...
So he's saying he's such a star because he's been taking her to physical therapy and so he doesn't need to listen to her requests for the past 8 years?
I just don't
That's what he's saying?
I don't know where he was going with it. And he has seen me struggle with the pain for years and has taken me to every therapy appointment. It's almost like he's saying that as a way to like rectify what he did.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
I've been there for you. I took you to all those therapies.
That's a reason why you should realize that she wants to get surgery because she's in pain and you saw it firsthand.
Disgusting.
Where is the empathy?
So bad.
Where?
Also, the money was transferred to his sole account. I have one too for, quote, fun money. We transfer equal amounts to each of us when we can. I cannot see the transaction after the transfer. Edit, reading the comments, only 30 minutes of this post being up has made me realize what an idiot I am. Thank you for educating me on computers and prices. I guess that's it. Edit. He texted me, quote, I'm so sorry, honey.
Wait, sorry, can you go back to why did she say this?
So she makes the comment about the computer because basically I think we haven't gotten into the comments yet. But people in the comments must be like, ma'am, a new computer isn't $15,000. So kind of like our question, like $15K for a computer, like what the fuck? So next edit, he texted me, quote, I'm so sorry, honey. I lost my mind for no reason at all. When I married you, I said in sickness and in health, and I broke that promise. The money is sitting in my account still, and I will move it back tomorrow morning as soon as I can. We talked about the recovery time for surgery and the time I needed to take off to watch the kids and run the house. It has made me panic a great deal, so I moved it thinking you wouldn't mind me spending it and we just save up again. I did it out of panic and frustration and did not expect you to find out so soon. I planned on returning it and telling you what I did and why. I understand if you want a divorce and to leave me behind. I am staying with Nathaniel tonight, sweetheart. Rest and I will fix it all tomorrow, I promise you. You will have the surgery you wanted. I am a selfish, stupid man and I hope you can forgive me.
What? That's amazing. Why doesn't every man like, what?
I'm not.
Where did that come from?
I'm not happy with this.
But he literally just like realized all of these things like the quickest turnaround. I feel like people that do stuff like what he did, like
he's scared shitless. He's going to say anything right now. She immediately found out and threatened divorce. He's scared shitless. He's reeling. He's just trying to say anything.
Okay, but she did say, she's like, this is so unlike him. He is the best father and the best husband. And she's like, and this just like destroyed me. This was such a betrayal. And he said, he was like, you're right, sickness and health. And like, I fucked up. Like,
yeah.
But he didn't get rid of the money. He just moved it to his account and he was going to move it back.
But why did he lie to her then earlier and say he bought a computer? Why was he manipulating it like that?
He's a stupid fucking
I have problems
guy.
with this apology. This one where he quotes, he says, quote, "We talked about the recovery time for surgery and the time I needed to take off to watch the kids and run the house. It has made me panic a great deal. And so I moved it thinking you wouldn't mind me spending it and we just save up again. You're scared to be a dad? You're scared to be a partner? You're scared to take a couple weeks off to run the house?"
When you read it that way.
That's a red flag for me.
Yeah.
You can't handle being a full-time parent like your wife is. You can't handle the same responsibilities she has, but yet, it's not our money, it's your money. That's a red flag. Like, what were you panicking about?
That is weird.
Also, if you have extra money, which maybe they don't because they saved up a long time for this surgery, but you could also hire a caregiver to come and help you with things.
Yeah.
You could hire a nanny for a couple weeks. Like,
so this was a text message that he sent to her?
yeah. So OP adds on after the end of this. They go, "For the first time in my relationship with this man, I don't believe a fucking word he wrote.
Oh, really?
He always told me I had it easy not working. And now he's saying he can't handle a week in my shoes.
Oh.
I feel ice cold towards my husband, and it is a sick feeling. My dad and aunt."
So no wonder you had your opinion.
I didn't remember this though.
Oh, really?
There's certain parts, like I don't remember this. I really only remembered the title, and maybe subconsciously I did, but like reading that, like I immediately picked that out. Like I
guess I just thought it was a quick turnaround because I don't know how long this was panned out. So I thought it was him initially just panicking because he knew he did something wrong, and so he tried to get defensive and then he was like, "Okay, the money's still there. Like I just moved it. I'm an idiot. Like I just freaked out. Like you're the best thing that's ever happened to me." So I kind of thought it was like a quick turnaround, which and then I'm like, okay, like, we have our moments of just being kind of like, I mean, again, I don't think it was okay for him to do that, but like
sometimes we can be our own worst enemies. I've been a little sabotagey lately. All these fucking planets in retrograde. So all 7 of them. So I feel it. Like I've felt a little unhinged myself lately. So
yeah, so that's why I was like, well, maybe like she said he was a great husband, great father. Maybe
lapse of judgment.
Yeah, and it was a quick turnaround. But seeing that she's like, I don't believe a fucking word that he said, it's like, well, she knows him better than we do. So
I know. I just don't get why lie. Like he never he kind of specifies, "Oh, why'd I lie about the computer?" But he doesn't really say why he lied. Like, "Oh, you panicked?" Like, okay, you panicked and moved the money, but like, why create this elaborate lie that you bought a computer? Like,
dude, this is like giving me...
What was he really going to do with that money?
This is giving me like Walt from
Breaking Bad
vibes.
Yeah.
And I started watching it, and I'm very early on, for the first time ever watching Breaking Bad. I'm like the only person who has just now started watching it.
I started recently too.
Yeah, but I get so pissed off at how shitty of a husband he is. Like he lies to her constantly. Their entire relationship has become a huge lie. And I'm like, as endearing as this whole idea of him like saving himself or whatever, it's just like, this makes me so sad.
All he had to do was accept the money from Elliot.
Literally. I'm like, your ego is so fragile that you couldn't just like fucking suck it up.
Literally. Ridiculous.
But like instead you're going to risk your life, your family's life, everyone around you's lives. Like I get the show, it's a show and it's fun.
I know.
Like, but like I was like, realistically, what the fuck? You are a shit husband.
I know. If my partner lied to me about like a serious medical diagnosis, I would be pissed. I cannot get into it. I'm like I think I finished 2 seasons of it and I'm on season 3. And I've really given it a solid try and I just can't get into it now.
Well, I think I'm like taking a hiatus from it because I literally was in the midst of watching it when like me and my ex decided to like go like separate ways. So I'm like, we could take a break from that one.
Yeah, it's still a little fresh there. A little fresh.
Maybe that's why we went separate ways. I was like, fuck you, you're just like Walt. No, that didn't happen.
So top comment on this one. Wow, not the asshole. But are you sure he didn't mean that message? I mean, yeah, he was the fucking worst doing something like that to you, especially knowing the pain. And it was incredibly selfish and a little manipulative. But do you think you mentioned the divorce made him rethink everything and realize what a sucky person he was being? I don't know your husband, and all I know of your lives is what you mentioned in this post. This might be something that divides you forever after knowing how selfish he was being and how far he was willing to go not to have you take care of the kids on his own. I mean, there is no valid reason to make you go through that. I take care of the kids mostly, and if he doesn't want to do it by himself, that's even more of a reason to help you get this thing you've actually needed, because he should realize you've had to do it mostly by yourself for years. He really should have just sat you down and talked to you about being scared of being the main daddy in the house, because it can be intimidating. I've never had kids, I'm 18. However, I babysat and know how fucking far that it is from being a parent, but I still remember how much I was silently freaking out when I had to take care of 3 kids for 3 days by myself.
So moral of the story, your husband's an 18-year-old
Yeah.
in a 38-year-old's body.
Yeah. So the person goes, edit, after reading your comments and others, yeah, I wouldn't trust him either. Basically disregard all of this post. That is super sketchy.
I love when people say that to like us.
Yeah.
Because I don't usually look at the YouTube comments, but sometimes I do, and it's funny when someone says this is this, and they're like, actually, sorry, please disregard. I watched
Everything.
the rest of it. Like, take it all back.
Fuck what I said.
Yeah, I'm like, same. That's how I feel every single episode.
Next comment. This sounds so eerily familiar to what happened with my own ultimate divorce. Please tread so carefully and with an utterly open mind. Trust your gut. Do not let your heart take over and cloud your judgment. He just showed you who he is. Trust that and nothing else. As others have said, scrutinize the hell out of his spending. I don't care if he suddenly magically has all of that money back. Ask for copies of his private accounts and scrutinize all of it. If he won't give it to you, you walk. If he won't give it to you, I guarantee he's hiding something worse than a computer. I'm so sorry you're going through this. Believe me, I know how heart-wrenching, gut-punching, and thoroughly devastating this is. Suffice it to say, I discovered my husband was never who he said he was. He had hidden endless amounts of money and was using tens of thousands of dollars on the worst possible things. It happens too often. Mm-hmm. Please protect yourself and your children. 1000% not the asshole.
It's so crazy how that can happen. You think you know somebody so well, and they can just be really good at hiding things.
I know.
It's scary.
Terribly scary. I think like you truly don't know who people are.
Well, it was interesting because as you know, there was somebody who I thought I trusted who I lived with, and they did things that were not something that someone would trust, that you would trust would do.
They stole all of your shit.
Yeah.
And then made you feel crazy.
Yeah.
That it went missing.
Yeah. And honestly, it was a sickness, like a
kleptomaniac.
Yeah.
Truly.
But it's weird when you think that you know somebody and then you find out this other side that you just didn't know. But there was also this part of me that I almost feel like
you knew.
Yeah. Like I almost feel like I knew, but I
didn't want to acknowledge it.
Yeah. And I hid that part of me so much, or I hid that from myself so much. And so when I did find out, it's like, even though it was surprising and shocking, it was also like, this actually adds up. Mm-hmm. Like there was this weird, there was something that wasn't, I don't even know what it was. I don't want to say there was an emptiness, but there was something missing where I'm like, this actually makes sense. Mm-hmm. Not even emptiness, but some a little bit too surface level.
It was just off.
Something was off. Yeah.
It wasn't right. It was too perfect to where
yes, exactly. It was too perfect. I don't know. Just so weird.
No, you got to trust your guts. And with money and prenups and all of this discussions, yeah, we don't want to assume the worst in our partners. No one does. You don't get married if you think the worst of someone or think they're capable of fucking you over. Obviously, you wouldn't marry them if you truly thought terribly of them. But people can change. People can, develop addictions, and addictions can ruin lives. And so always deal for the what if. Always. So.
Well, I was also reading too. I know that this is something that's been said before, but I was reading the 4 agreements this morning, And they talk about how nobody abuses anyone as much as we abuse ourselves. Like we are so critical on ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves. If we do something wrong and someone, makes us feel bad, like if a husband is like, you did this, I'm super upset about it. Like we are the ones that remember it, even when they're not punishing us in the moment. Like we remember it over and over again and we feel guilty. And then it goes into talk about how we stay with people who abuse us just as much or less or a little bit less than we abuse ourselves. And the only time we fully will leave is if they start abusing us a little bit more than we abuse ourselves. And so that's and so that's why it's like it's so important to like really find that self-love, because then you will let people treat you this way. And I don't know, I thought that was pretty
Yeah, it's powerful shit. So for the update, hi everyone. Before I update, I just wanted to sincerely thank everyone who messaged me with support and advice. I cannot believe it and felt so understood, not alone. People don't understand how isolating being a stay-at-home parent can really be,
especially in a pandemic. Did you just finish your sentence?
Especially when you're used to working an office job with lots of coworkers/friends. Staying home plus the pandemic had me feeling a bit crazy. LOL. For the update, I got the money back the same day. It's sitting in my soul account, ready to go.
There we go.
Thank you to everyone who messaged me with the information about the procedure. It was so stinking helpful. I now have a realistic timeline set and realistic understanding about recovery. Now, as I was reading and replying to the comments, I was getting more and more engrossed in my anger. When my dad arrived, I think he saw I was turning absolutely rabid. He took my phone, turned it off, and told me to go take a minute and breathe. I sat for hours thinking about what everyone said and finally realized how out of character this was and that something was deeply wrong. I went to sleep. Around 3 a.m., I woke up, grabbed my phone, and told my husband to get his ass home. When he arrived, he walked in straight for me and hugged me. We hugged for a good 5 minutes. After that, he apologized and we both cried. When he finally gave his side of the story, I was dumbfounded. He said he took the money because, 1, he was afraid that I was going to get seriously injured and die during the surgery and be alone. 2, that I would be way out of his league afterwards and leave him. 3, that I'd see what a crappy husband and father he was when he had to run the household and that our kids would love him less.
Oh my God.
All in all, he had a big mental breakdown.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry. That is like, I mean,
I have no sympathy. I don't know why.
I just think that, I mean, yeah, he's still an idiot, but like,
be honest with your partner.
But he was, and I feel like
after he put her through hell and took the money.
But like I mean, I don't know. I think the fact that he admitted to all of these insecurities, that's big. There are a lot of people that won't do that.
To me, I'm like, and I'm still learning about it, but it's very insecure. And like, yes, for him to admit these insecurities is very big, but it almost feels like weaponized incompetence to the point where he's like, I'm scared I can't take care of our children and be a parent. Like, it just feels very manipulative. And it's like, how much pain she was in. And like, it was just very selfish. All of it was like so selfish on his end. Yeah. I'm scared you'll leave me. I'm scared you'll die and then I'll have to be alone. I'm scared I can't take care of the kids and they'll hate me. It just feels so, it is very big of him, and I'm giving him a lot of credit for like finally opening up. But he should have opened up about this sooner and not manipulated the situation. And it just feels it still feels emotionally manipulative to me.
Yeah, I guess I'm like standing by the fact that she said it's so crazy for him because he is such a good husband and he's such a good dad. Yeah. And so that's why I'm like, if she didn't say that from the start, yeah, I probably would have more like question marks about it. But because she's like, I've been with him for 11 years and like I've never seen this side of him, then like him coming clean and being like, I have these built up insecurities and I freaked out and I fucked up.
Yeah, true. I'm very cranky today. Maybe that's why I'm being such a hard ass.
Who knows? I mean, we don't know these people.
I've had a rough day, you guys.
No. But I want to believe that like
he's being,
that he's realizing his wrongs and he's owning up to them and trying to figure out how he can make them right and being honest about it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who knows? He might be a shitty guy. I don't fucking know. But I'm going to hope that he's not.
I know.
That's where I'm at.
I'm just mad at him for being such a liar. So
Yeah, this story did take us through a bit of an emotional roller coaster.
I know. Well, I'm glad like we have two very different takes on this one, which is like it's good. Like I think it's good to have two different perspectives. And so she goes on to say, I understand where he was coming from, but I was and still am royally pissed off.
Yeah, of course.
I told him if he needed surgery for his back one day, very possible, and was in a lot of pain, how would he feel if I said he couldn't have it because of insert flimsy, selfish excuse?
Yeah.
That have nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
He didn't have an answer for that and just kept apologizing. I told him I would be contacting my old friends from work and looking for a job to make my own money since what he earns is apparently his.
Yeah, that comment would stick with me. I would be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'd
It's
be
very
pissed.
disrespectful.
Oh, so disrespectful.
And degrading.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I would be like, okay, you don't see this as an equal partnership, then I will go make my fucking money. We'll trade off taking care of the kids. Go fuck yourself.
He broke down in tears again after that, but I was too angry again to address it. I told him to log into his banking right now or I would never trust him again. We logged in and he printed out last year's worth of transactions. I recognized 90% of them. The rest was random Amazon, Walmart, PlayStation, and so on purchases. I told him to log into his credit history profile. He only has our joint accounts and his sole account. My mind was put to ease. The next day, I contacted my old firm and was surprised to find out my friend was the senior manager of the department. I trained him.
Oh my God.
We chatted for a bit and he said if I get my certification up to date by the end of the year, he would have a role for me by mid-2021.
Oh, this is coming to be such a happy story. I love it.
I used to be a forensic accountant back in the day and loved my job. I'm very excited about this possibility. After I told my husband, he was very sad.
Oh.
He told me he wants to get a postnup where it says if we divorce, I would get more than 50% of all assets. Everything is in our joint names. He said he couldn't ever make it up to me, but he hopes that would give me the peace of mind to choose to go back to work or continue staying home. I'll have to think about it. As a side note, my salary would be higher than his again, and I am currently taking great joy in telling him all the things I can do with my money. Petty, I know, LOL. I'm working on it. We have a lot of work to do for our marriage, but I'm happy to report we aren't divorcing anytime soon. He is profoundly sorry, and I'm slowly accepting it. I do regress here and there, admittedly. We are signed up for couples therapy in a few weeks' time. I can't picture my life without his stupid face in it, so I'm hoping for the best. Thank you, Reddit, for all your support and love.
Oh, I love that.
There's more edits.
Oh, shit.
There's more.
It's bad?
I don't know. I just see another update underneath. So there's, let's keep going.
Okay.
Satisfying edit. Forgot to mention that my mother showed up on the night we were fighting to apparently scold me, I guess. But my dad opened the door and tore into her. I did not know this, but my mother has had a few procedures done. My aunt and dad told her off, good, and she left screaming like a banshee. We haven't spoken since,
Jesus.
And I think I'll be taking some space from her.
Yeah, what?
Double standard.
That is so sad.
Criticizing someone else about plastic surgery when you've had some.
And I don't understand why she'd freak out on her about that.
It's not your body.
So was she just mad because it was plastic surgery? That's what she was saying?
The mom called her vain.
Right, but like she also knows she's in pain. I don't know. That's weird.
Update. Hi all. It's been about a year since I posted on Am I the Asshole?
Oh, wow.
A lot of people gave advice on therapy and that the shock would wear off and I would need it. Y'all were right, and I'm so thankful I listened about therapy. Update. I ended up getting that tummy tuck and muscle repair. For the recovery, my dad and my mother-in-law were at my side almost 24/7 for the 5 entire weeks. I slept on a recliner the entire time, so we barely spent time together. He really didn't do much for me or have any sympathy for the pain I was in. Weeks after recovery, I felt like a new person in no pain. I kept thinking how my husband tried to take that away from me due to his own insecurities. I went to therapy at night and realized I needed to not rely on him for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I heavily considered divorce. I wanted to talk about my feelings and how I felt so betrayed. 30 seconds into the conversation, he told me, quote, "What's done is done. If you don't like it, let's divorce because I can't go through this again." I said, dot, dot, dot. All right. I felt completely calm. I felt nothing. I was done.
Wow.
I hired a divorce lawyer within a week, and we are officially separated. We kept things very, very civil. We signed an agreement to 50-50 everything. No child support, no spousal support, nothing. We sold the house and split the earnings. He purchased a smaller but very nice house a few streets over. We work hard to keep our kids happy, and I have talked strategies with my therapist. On our last day sorting the house, he wished me luck with job hunting and said he was surprised I didn't want more than 50%. He said I wouldn't have a hard time finding another man to take care of me. I barely recognized him, and it was scary.
Ew.
The thing is, I reached out to my good friend and got a job back in my old field, forensic accounting. It has some new twists and responsibilities that I actually ended up loving and am very good at. I actually can't be too specific due to my security clearance. The job is ridiculously grueling, and not a lot of people want to do it or have the insight/stamina to do it. The point is, my salary is about 3 times my husband's, and I, in fact, told him so on the spot. I told just little extra burn.
She was like, I'm petty. I know.
I also told him I planned on buying the biggest, nicest house for sale in our neighborhood soon and was thrilled. I also informed him that no, I wouldn't have a hard time finding a better man. I guess he forgot who he married. Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much for the
Wow.
kind words and support. It means so much. I can't even describe it.
That was a crazy roller coaster. And you were on target with him being a fucking asshole. Wait, sorry. You were on target with him being an asshole.
No, you don't want to say fucking?
I felt like it was too much. Like, I got to reel it back a little bit.
I don't know. Like, I think couples counseling can work. I think if he would have been upfront from the beginning about his insecurities, but even after the fact where she had the surgery and he didn't help at all.
Yeah.
He let his mom.
Right. That's when I was like,
and
oh, shit.
He didn't even help her and had like no sympathy for the pain when it's like, yeah, okay, she made that decision to have that surgery, but like the surgery is for her health and quality of
Yeah.
life and happiness.
Yeah.
And therefore equates into your health,
Yeah.
life, quality of life, happiness, like all that fucking jazz. Like this is.
Yeah. And like, obviously, I mean, her mother-in-law, her spoiled little bitch son's like
Mom. Yeah.
Was right by her side, like a saint, and her dad.
Such a saint. So amazing.
Edit, my mother-in-law and my dad are now married.
I know, wouldn't that be nice? And you're still tied to your ex-husband though.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
But that is sad because I really thought I was like, okay, like he's owning up to everything. He's willing to work on it. And I get it. Like it was a huge betrayal for her. I'm sure that throughout the year, like her coming back to it was hard on him. But like, I mean, the fact that he was just like, well, like that type of stonewall robotic response and behavior is just like, I would feel the same way as her too. Like, okay, we're done.
And it was interesting too where he was like, I'll give you more than 50%. So you can go to work, but like if you want to stay home, just know. Like, which is also like, that is very nice, but also kind of manipulative.
It did feel like that too, especially because he was saying that one of his insecurities was that like she's gonna be all cute, like I don't know. It almost seemed like he was like stay at home. I thought that too, but then it was like, okay, I'm looking at it the other way. Well, the whole thing was he felt super bad for saying it's my money, so now he's making it clear that like no, this is your money. It's even more your money. So that's why I was like, okay, I'll take that.
Nice gesture,
Yeah.
as long as it was nice and not intended to manipulate her, and like make her stay home,
right?
But I think like him just being like, they go to therapy, they're at their first session. 30 seconds into the conversation, he says, "What's done is done.
Yeah,
If you don't like it, let's divorce." That's what therapy's for.
That's so. That
is completely disregarding your partner's feelings, stonewalling, contempt.
Yeah.
That is going to get you nowhere. Like, you're going to therapy to talk about the situation and problems.
Yeah.
When you go to therapy, you're only going to get out of therapy what you're willing to put in, what emotional work you're going to do, what you're willing to share and
Yeah.
reflect on. So like,
And yeah, and you're right. Like that comment, what's done is done. So if you don't like it, then we'll move on. That is the thing is that okay, clearly the reason it's continuously being brought up is because it's not healed. So what can we do to figure out a way to heal it? And so if you're going to say what's done is done, and like be like, so shut the fuck up, like don't talk about it, then that is dismissing, that is showing that you don't care about healing that, because there's a reason why it's brought up, it's not healed. So it's just like, if you don't care enough to work through and heal the issue, figure out the issue, figure out how you guys can like work on it, then yeah, it's like there's no relationship there.
it's so unfair to your partner too.
Yeah.
To just like expect them to completely like invalidate their feelings and just like bury that when it was
Yeah.
something that was very hurtful.
Yeah. And I mean, I understand. I'm sure, like, if she was, who knows how much she was bringing it up. Maybe she was bringing it up in every single sentence throughout the entire year of that. Like, so, you know.
Petty comments, you know,
Yeah.
as she admitted. So
Right. So maybe it was really hard on him. But, like, I mean, I think they made the right decision for sure to
Yeah.
separate at the end of that story.
yeah, I agree. I just had bad vibes. Someone comments too, and I think this comment must have been after the first update, not the second one where they say like they mentioned the divorce. And so someone goes, "Is it weird that I still don't totally believe him?" And someone goes, "I don't either, because the first thing he did when he was confronted was call her vain."
Yeah.
That felt really weighted to me for some reason. Stealing 14K, quote, because I was afraid for you, is not something I could even accept as an excuse, even if it were true. Especially if the motherfucker who stole that 14K called me vain for asking where the money for my medical care was.
Yeah.
And he told her that he thought he would have it fixed before she noticed. Like, my dude, how many lies have you, quote, fixed?
Yeah,
If you have a
literally.
timeline on your wife's attention span. Like, I might not go straight for the divorce button, but they would be moving out of my home for the foreseeable future. I wouldn't believe that bullshit or the tears he produced. Someone goes, "Oh no, dude is still lying."
God, relationships are fucking hard.
So incredibly hard. And you gotta create a life with the right person. Like, I think having, you know, kids with someone, you gotta be sure that shit, at least in my opinion, like I was an oops baby. I'm glad I'm here, but wrap it up, guys. Use birth control unless you're like,
That phrase.
you really want to do life with somebody.